Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and this video is coming out a little too late, but I still wanted to do a prediction video on NXT Deadline. I normally try to get this out like right after the NXT or whatever last event there is, but I've had some teeth issues, so it took me all the way until the day of basically to get it out there. But I really wanted to get it, so let's talk about it. So we'll start off with the North American NXT Championship match, which is Ethan Page versus Mr. Iguana, added at the last minute, but it's been a feud that they've been working on because Ethan Page took the mixed AAA title off of him, and I think this will be a solid it's gonna be one of those matches. I think the wrestling inside of it's gonna be good, but I think like the storytelling and like maybe even a little bit of comedy aspects I think will be better. Chelsea Green probably will be there for Ethan Page, and I wouldn't be surprised if Lola Vice is out there for Mr. Iguana because she's in the Iron Survivor Challenge later, so I could see there being a little bit of shenanigans going on also. But I do think this match is going to be, fairly entertaining. I do believe Ethan Page is going to win here. I think it just makes a lot of sense to keep the title on him. I really don't see him losing this title until he's literally ready to be pulled up to the main roster. And I think that could be at any time now, honestly. He's done everything that he could do in NXT. He's now doing stuff in AAA. I think him going to the main roster and being putting on a SmackDown, or like putting on to SmackDown would be perfect because then he would be next to Chelsea Green. They could do their mixed tag stuff and they could possibly even defend those titles on SmackDown, especially if you're going to 3 hours. They could definitely use some different stuff. So I think that would be a really good idea. Next up, we got Tatum Paxley versus Izzy Dame. They took the title off of Tater. I still kind of don't know why they did that. So this makes it a little bit difficult here because I do believe Tatum's gonna lose. I don't feel like she really gets her revenge against Izzy Dame because I think like this is a storyline they want to kind of hold off on finishing, and if Tatum wins, then there's not really much. But honestly, it could be 50-50 on here. But I do really think Izzy Dame's gonna win, and I kind of hate it, because I kind of feel like this has kind of been just a weird whole build thing. So I don't know. The problem with a lot of these matches in general too is just like they didn't have a lot of build to them because of the Gold Rush being right before this. I feel like sometimes the WWE timing is just a little off. Like they have the whole year to plan this stuff, but it feels like randomly they kind of like throw something in there at the last minute or just don't care that there's not much time in between it. But I'm still excited for this one. Next up, we'll go to the women's Iron Survivor match. Last year's one absolutely was amazing, and I think this one really has a chance of being one of the best. It's Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Jordan Grace, Sol Ruka, and Kendall Gray. Now, my sentimental pick here would be Kendall Gray. I think she's had this phenomenal year, and this would be just perfect to cap it off. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think that it's not that she doesn't deserve it or anything. I just think with her being in Evolve and just kind of, just getting to her footing to probably be on NXT, I don't see her doing anything too crazy. I do think she'll have a good showing just because of her wrestling, but I don't think she wins. Lola Vice has just had one of those years where she's had every opportunity, but they've never pulled the trigger on her. And I don't really feel like they pull the trigger on her here because I do legitimately think whoever wins here has a good shot of taking the title off Jace. Is this for the winner at Stand and Deliver or the one between that? I'm not really sure, but either way, I do think there's a possibility. Kalani Jordan obviously is working on her heel stuff, so she would be a perfect person in there. But against Jace, I don't really feel like they need a heel. They definitely want to go with some sort of baby face. And then Sol Ruka, I think, is going to be probably the doing the crazier things, but I have a feeling Zarya is going to take her out and build that storyline on its separate. And so I think Jordan Grace is going to win. I think she's obviously poised to be one of the top stars in the entire organization at some point because of like how much pedigree she has, and she's just been kind of spinning her wheels down in NXT. So I think this is the thing to give her that momentum to go and get a title reign and maybe be called up as soon as possible. So I guess we'll see, but I'm going to go with Jordan Grace here. On the men's side of things, we have Joe Hendry versus Javon Evans versus Dion Lennox versus Leon Slater versus Miles Bourne. This one is kind of a tricky one because there's just a lot of people in there that need it, and then there's a lot of people that just like okay, like because the winner faces Ricky Saints or Obafemi, whoever ends up with the title. I feel like if Obafemi ends up winning the title, which is kind of the whole different part, uh, none of these guys were going to have a chance at it because obviously he just got the title. So if it's Ricky Saints, you would think that they would want somebody to be really ready to step up. So I think Dion Lennox has probably the worst shot of winning, obviously, with being part of Dark State and stuff. There's always that possibility that they come out there and do something, but I feel like everybody's going to gang up on him, only being the only heel. I feel like they're going to probably like try to take him out really fast. Then I probably put Miles Bourne as the second unlikely to win. He's had a solid year, but they hadn't pulled the trigger on him at all. But this is still a very good way to put him into the match. Then I'm gonna have to go with Leon Slater here as being the third most unlikely. Not that he doesn't deserve it or is that he wouldn't be a bad choice. I just think because he's part of TNA, I don't think they would have that thing happen here. I feel like this is definitely a one-sided relationship 90% of the time, and I don't think this is one of those things where you give something to TNA because it really doesn't do much. I would love to see Leon Slater versus somebody for the NXT title, but I'm pretty sure this is for either the next PLE or for like another major show, and I think like they really want to have somebody that's possibility that could be taking the title off. Then I'd put Joe Hendry up here as second to chance. Obviously, he just signed with WWE full time, so this would be any opportunity to put him in there. But I think that match against either champion for the NXT title, I don't think would be that great. But I could still see him winning just because it's Joe Hendry and all that. Then I'm going to go with Javon Evans as my pick. I think he definitely deserves it. He's been so close to everything this year, and he's just done an amazing job. I think we're going to get a lot of oh crap moments here, and I think this is just kind of his match, especially with Leon Slater on the other side. I think they could really make magic, and I think this match is probably going to be the match of the night. Normally I'd go with the women, but I think with Javon Evans and Leon Slater in this match, I think there's a good possibility that they steal the show. So I'm gonna go with Javon Evans. Next up, and definitely not last, like least, because this is gonna be a hell of a matchup. Is Ricky Saints versus Obafemi. I really do believe Ricky Saints wins here. I think he wins, and then Obafemi gets sent off to the main roster. I don't really understand why they'd give him a third reign right now. The only other way I would say is that they're gonna move Ricky Saints up to the main roster. I really believe this is like the winner stays as champ and the loser goes to the main roster. So like it's not a bad time to take a loss in your career because I feel like whoever does get a call up here. And then the winner here also faces Cody Rhodes at Saturday Night Main Event. And I kind of feel like Ricky Saints versus Cody Rhodes would be the safer bet. Obafemi versus Cody Rhodes would be absolutely phenomenal, and I would love to see that. So sentimental feelings, I really do want Obafemi to win here, but I am going to have to go with Ricky Saints because I think that's what it's going to be. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you guys are excited. I'm actually really pumped for this show. I think this show is going to be a good way to finish off NXT's PLEs, who have been up and down all year, but I think this one's going to be maybe one of the best, or at least the top three. But sometimes when I say that, it ends up being it ends up being a lot worse off. But until next time, this has been Japan. Bye, guys.